Hey Leo, what's up? Where I'm seeing you be right now within the energy is looking for something. And when we are looking for something, if there is anything that we have going on that we're looking at and like maybe feeling like that's the thing that's leaving us seeking, meaning for some of you, you can have something going on right now that you've gotten to the point where you feel like you are like ready to conclude a chapter. You can have looked at things and you can have decided that there isn't really sustenance within the cycle any longer for you, especially on an emotional level. And it can be something where you're looking for something a bit like we can say deeper, or I like to see the energy in a way where when we have Eight of Cups, it's this feeling of when you enter into a cycle, it's like you have a plate full of food there. And as you move through the cycle, you're consuming the food. So you're like consuming the nutrients of what's in the cycle, meaning there's like stuff there, you know, that you're kind of like feeding off of. When the cycle concludes and there's nothing really left for you to get from it, it's just an empty plate in front of you. So even though we can sit there and have the empty plate in front of us, you're not going to pull anything else from it anymore. And so you can be at this point, especially seeing the world on the bottom of the deck. Maybe you have concluded something and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next thing now. And you can be maybe a bit more open than you had been before. I get this like seeking, like wanting adventure or something like that. This can even be a change that you want, that you feel ready for at this point. I think too that it would have taken you a while to get to this. I think that when we have the world on the bottom of the deck, it can be kind of a slow crawl to get to that point. Two of Swords coming out. Maybe you're telling yourself you're still undecided, or maybe you know within your heart where you're standing with things, but you haven't done anything about it yet. It's like, do I do it? Do I not do it? The thing is that plate in front of you, there's not magically, food is not going to just appear on it anymore. You already took what you could from it. So the hesitance can come from maybe trying to like convince ourselves that that's not the end when we can clearly feel it. But I think that when we're not in a place where we totally trust or like understand our feelings and our intuition, we may not always understand the cue of that, because basically this like metaphorical food that's not in front of you, you don't see it tangibly with your eyes, right? But you can feel it. And when you trust your feelings, you know that to be true, and you know that you need to respond to that. However, when there's a disconnect there, it can take us longer to get to that point of being like, oh, I've been right all along. What I've been feeling has been right all along. So it can be a time when there can be some validation on your end that's needed as it relates to what you really think about this, what you've assessed, what you know to be true, really, and to not second guess yourself here. Maybe you also want to find the next plate, but there can simultaneously be this feeling of like, I want to enjoy a different experience that contains what I want and what I'm trying to get out of it, but to have to make the choices and take the steps, I don't really want to have to do that. So that can also be something that's coming up too, where you're working with yourself. I see you kind of frozen a little bit here within the energy, where it's like you're not really going to get to a different conclusion. I'm seeing this really be the conclusion. It feels like it even took you a while to get to this point anyway. But now that you're here, something needs to be done about it. But I'm getting a lot of overthinking that's happening, where you can just feel frozen, stuck within the energy, not really doing anything. You can even like maybe be trying to deny this part of yourself as well, just because If you were to fully admit the truth of this to yourself, it means you have to take action, and you can be like, well, what's that going to mean? Then what's going to happen over here? What's going to happen over there? It can be like all of these things coming up where you just start feeling anxiety about it. And then you kind of get stuck in your head. Then action isn't being taken and you're just frozen there in the energy. Very uncomfortable place to be in. The thing is too, though, that you're keeping yourself there. Like, you're the one that gets to choose if you do something about this or if you make the move. So as uncomfortable as it can be, you're the one that is keeping yourself in that position. So that can also be something to remind yourself of as well. Oh, you're 100% clear on this. 100% clear. I'm not seeing this be something you're trying to figure out anymore. I'm seeing it be like, you could not be more clear on this. You're ready to go. I think just like what is getting to you at this point when you're looking at this, it can be this, just like things to do, and then what's gonna happen, and what does the future hold, and I'm like really gonna have to do this. It's like when you get nervous, when you're ready to jump off the diving board and you're just standing there on the diving board, and the more you're standing there, the more nervous you're getting about jumping into the water, even though you like can't really backtrack after this point. You can't unknow this. You know, like this is a conclusion you've come to. It's not going to change. It's not going to disappear. You're not going to forget about it. It's like very obvious and very clear. It feels very solid at this point. But then what that means for you, I think it can be like, okay, well, I know this now, and I'm aware of this now, and I'm clear on this now. And I also am having a hard time taking action. See, like a lot of procrastination here. Because this isn't like I haven't figured it out and so I don't know what to do. This is like you have figured it out, you're just not doing anything with it. Ooh, a tower. Okay, now I'm seeing where this not doing anything about this is coming from, meaning not taking action yet. I'm getting where the inaction is coming from. We have 5 of Cups. This can be like, I didn't want the plate to be finished. I didn't want that to be it. Can even be like, I thought there was going to be more on there. It's like you're putting your hand in a bag of popcorn and you're eating it, and you go to reach in your hand again, but like nothing's there, and you thought like it was still half full. It's that moment there, but whatever this situation is that you're in, and I'm seeing it be deeply upsetting. So that definitely makes sense for sure. This can be something that kind of throws off your axis a little bit, throws you off your axis a little bit. That can be the feeling too with this. I wonder if it feels like something majorly getting broken down. And now I'm seeing the Mars that had been missing all along is now here. But instead of using your Mars, which is to initiate and do things, Mars is your masculine energy, so it's going to be getting things done. Instead of using your Mars to take action here, it feels like you're channeling your Mars energy to just think about this more, even though it's like there's nothing really left to conclude, but you can still be having a hard time, because when you know the reality of a situation and you don't want it to be that, when you're like, I wish that this worked, I wish that this was anything other than it actually is, we can have a really hard time coming to terms with that because we don't want to believe it. And if we are not allowing ourselves to fully believe it and fully accept it and fully mourn it, then it keeps us in that in between. I wonder if this could be the time, though, that you break out of this space that you've been in, where you are ready to do something now. Because Tower can also be the thing that breaks you out of a space where you hadn't really been moving or processing. Having us end with the Tower can be like, okay, I'm going to do it now. But I think that there's definitely been like a lot on your heart and a lot on your mind of not wanting it to be like this. And there can be like a lot of denial that's been happening as well, because if you're in denial, then you don't have to do something about it and take action. So it's like working with that part of yourself. But now it feels like there is a breakthrough that's happening where there's not really that denial taking place anymore, but you can still be having a hard time accepting this. It can just be hard to see this, hard to reconcile with the reality of this. But I do see you breaking out of things now. It feels like that like glass box that you've been contained within is now shattering, which I think at this point is going to allow you to take action then, whereas there had been inaction before just because of like maybe wanting to deny the reality of this. Now I feel like you're like kind of coming out of that, like breaking out of it. It's like you were stuck in the top of the castle, and now the castle's going down, so you're going to be getting out of there one way or another. You're not going to be really contained within that anymore. Yeah, you can have been putting things off too because you didn't want to have to face the ending of this as well. So it's like maybe you convinced yourself that being in that like weird, strange twilight zone in between was better than saying it's over for real. I think too that this is where your faith can really come in. That you have to believe that it's for a reason, and if you're willing to go along with the energy, that things are going to line up the way that they need to, and that there are better things to come. But it can be difficult when you're still focused on the past and not looking to the future yet, or like not even present fully. But I'm seeing something, even if it's hard to see it now, I'm seeing something really special that's going on within the energy where you are being brought somewhere that you need to go, but you're going to have to stop resisting within the energy in order for that to happen. You're going to have to let things go. Yeah, I'm getting this thing like you'd been in a situation where something happened with the wheel and you got stuck in the mud and the wheel was moving but you weren't going anywhere. Now whatever this is that's happening, it's like there's movement now, so you're not stuck. So I'm seeing things are going to get moving at this point, but you had been stuck there for a while and could have felt like you were just sinking. Okay, so for many of you this has to do with a relationship. I am seeing, yeah, the reality, it can be something that's really difficult to come to terms with because you didn't want it to be like this. But you can also feel too that, like, even as much as we can not want to accept something as it is, the food doesn't appear on the plate. So you're stuck in that space where it's like you're not getting what you need and you're not allowing yourself to move on. So you're not pulling anything else from the situation to nourish you in any way, and you're also not allowing yourself to go to the next plate, because inevitably there will be a next plate. So being in that in between, it just feels like kind of like fading away into the energy where you're just sort of dissolving a bit, but now it feels like coming out of that where you're going to be getting up from the table. But it can be like, you don't have to feel happy about this. You can feel upset about this. You can be like not really wanting to, but you can also feel like there's a deeper need for you to take action and do something now. Yeah, some of you can feel like this is connected with something, feeling like it's kind of like falling apart or being like a lot of things moving around within your personal life, because I'm seeing this be a deeply, deeply personal process. But what this is going to do is, if you're willing to open up, it's going to allow you to connect with what you want on a deeper level, where you're going to move forward within your storyline and you're going to see yourself connect with other things that feel great to connect with. Things that you'll look back at this situation and be like, I can't believe I almost stopped there and stopped moving, because then I wouldn't have gotten to experience all of this stuff. It's going to be one of those times. But right now you can be not in that place yet, and you can be in the process of getting up from the table begrudgingly, seemingly, and so that's where I'm seeing you be. But that's again where I think this thing about faith has to come in here, where you have to know that there's a bigger picture and there's a greater reason for this, which I think can, even if you're not seeing it or even if you're not like totally allowing yourself to feel it, you have to know there's got to be like a bigger reason for this to be happening here. And that if you are willing to move along with the energy rather than fight it, you will see things fall into place for you. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.